It's been said by many creative geniuses that we always create better together rather than alone. Today, I'm going to kick off a 5-week series on building a creative community, starting with essential components that are necessary for establishing a vibrant community of creative individuals. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. I'm so glad that you're here. We are officially in the month of May, episode 64. We're starting a brand new series, as I said at the beginning of this, that I cannot wait to get into with you. We're going to spend the entire month of May talking about how we build a sense of community around us as creatives and why it's so important. I want to remind you that I'm here as a creative coach and consultant to help creatives know themselves, their process, and their team so that they can create greater things together. I would love to work with you on any projects that you have coming up or help organize your systems and processes in a way that maximizes your efficiency and helps you to create those things better. You can reach out to me on my website, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, any of those things at Dustin Peed. You can find me there as well as at Dustin Peed, P-E-A-D, DustinPeed.com. Click on the Let's Talk button for a free consultation on your creative process and work. If you're listening to this on an audio podcast platform, I'm so thankful that you're here. It would really mean a lot to me and help get this content out further if you would leave a 5-star rating and review. If you're watching on YouTube, hello there. I'm so glad to see you from my home office with all the trinkets in the background. Hopefully they're not too distracting for you, but there's some cool stuff back there. I would love for you to like, subscribe, and ring the bell, the YouTube 3-in-1 Trinity action. That helps you to know all the content that I have coming out each and every week. So with that, I want to get onto the show today. Since my first year as a creative professional, which, depending on if you consider college professional or not, and there's a big debate in the country right now, but I've always strived to build a network of like-minded people no matter where I ended up. Over my journey as a professional creative post college, I was in Chicago for a year. I was in Indianapolis area for about 11 years. I was in the Baltimore, Maryland area for a couple years, and now I'm in the suburbs of Atlanta for the past 3 or 4 years. In every single place that I went to, I wanted to gather like-minded people in a similar role that I was in for the purpose of just kind of iron sharpening iron, right? I wanted to be able to have the ideas from them. I wanted to share ideas with them and just build some community all around. When I was in Indy, was kind of the official launch of this process. I did this just by cold calling people in the same position as me and inviting them to coffee or lunch. And my only agenda was to learn and offer support in return. There was no costs attached. Obviously, there's a little bit of time commitment in being able to say like, hey, I can grab lunch once a month. But obviously, we know the adage of the worst thing that can happen is they say no. And people did say no. Some people told me that they were too busy to get together and have that type of community and relationship. And that's okay. That just means that they weren't for me at that time and I wasn't for them at that time. And so I just continued asking until I found the right people and ended up having a great group of people there that I could text, call at any moment, get their ideas, get their feedback, ask for prayer, different things like that. And they would be there for me. And it was fantastic. So what I want to get into at the jump of this episode today, because today we're kind of going to get into like the 3 core elements for this creative community to kind of thrive. Before I get into that, though, I just really want to give a good sense of why creative community is so important. I believe that creativity thrives in community. Creativity thrives in community. It doesn't just survive, it thrives. And the reason it does is because the creative community provides a couple of things. It provides support and encouragement, which we know we need regularly. If you're an Enneagram 4 like me, you need it probably more than most. It provides networking and collaboration. It's an opportunity for you to grow your business, an opportunity for you to work with individuals that you never thought possible. It's an opportunity. Creative community is an opportunity for inspiration and innovation, to be inspired by what other creatives are doing, to push the boundaries on what you're doing yourself. Creative community is an opportunity for professional development. Maybe there's someone in your own backyard, or that's able to be easily reached digitally nowadays, that is way better at a skill set than you are, and you want to improve that skill set. This community is an opportunity for you to improve professional development. Creative community is really great for your overall emotional well-being. We talked about having support and encouragement, but just your overall emotional well-being, how you enter into your work each day, not feeling like you're alone, but you have a community of people that are around you to support you as well. And lastly, creative community provides opportunities for exposure and recognition. We talked about the networking, but it's also just an opportunity for you to say, hey, I'm here. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I'm about. So creative community is vital, I think, for us as creatives. We need community, and we need it probably as badly as we need the next contract or the next piece of work. Like anything else as creatives, I think, though, that we often get stuck on starting or completing. And so where do we begin? Where do we start to look for this community? How do we know if it's a right fit for us? What tools do we need? What do we talk about when we actually do get together? These are all things that are going around in our head. And I think there's three core elements of creative community and what will help it to thrive and what will help you cultivate this community in your own environment. In your own neck of the woods. These three things I think will help kind of guide those questions through of where do I look? How do I know if it's right? What tools do I need? What do we talk about when we're together? It'll help kind of guide all of those questions. So the first core element to cultivating this community, I believe, are shared values. Shared values. What's important to you? You want to find people that it's important to them as well. So if excellence is important to you, you want to surround yourself with people who excellence is an important value for them as well. If family time is an important value for you, then you want to surround yourself with people who also value highly family time. If technology or innovation is highly important to you, then you want to surround yourself with those type of people. When you have shared values, that's when the natural, like, hey, when you have a conversation with someone and you're just like, I don't know, we just seem to click. We had a lot in common. Same thing here. It's not just the surface level of what you have in common. It's the kind of the baseline or even below the surface level of what you value. When you value the same things together in community, then you're able to support one another and you're able to see, hey, I know you value time with your family, but I see you working like 100 hours a week. Or, hey, I know you value excellence, but I see you kind of caving in on a few things just to please the client. But I think there's some areas that you can really push your standard back up to where it goes. So there's that accountability there, and there's that sense of rising to the occasion when you have people with the same shared values. The second core element that I think is important to cultivate in a creative community are communication channels. Now, we live in a great time where I can sit here in my home office and communicate to you through this camera and through this microphone and through the power of technology. To matter wherever you're listening or watching this in the world, I have the ability to communicate to you. We have great communication channels at our disposal now. Obviously, we have social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, all those types of things. They can tend to be a little one-sided sometimes. I'm learning the community aspect of LinkedIn right now. Is super fun. Then there's also things that you can kind of create on your own, right? There's like the group chats, group me kind of chats. There's Slack that I use for a lot of the communities that I'm in. I'm a part of a community in Atlanta called Plywood People. It's one of the co-working spaces that I work at usually once or twice a week. And we have a Slack channel, and there's different, or we have a Slack kind of platform. And inside of that, there are different channels based on different topics, and people can bounce ideas off of each other. And it's community that we're creating because we have easy access in dedicated communication channels. Maybe for you, it's just as simple as a text thread. I know for me, I have a couple of friends who live in Indianapolis area, and we have a dedicated text thread, and we know what that text thread is about. And we have shared values, and so we encourage each other, and we share things, and we bounce ideas off each other in that text thread. So it could be as simple as a text thread. It doesn't have to be super techy, but having some clear, provided, understood, well-known communication channels will help you cultivate the creative community that you need for your creativity to thrive. The last core element that I want to say that we need to cultivate in our area to get this sense of creative community and support what we're doing and be able to support other people in what they're doing as well is fostering collaboration. I've been working with a client. He's a friend of mine in Indianapolis. You've seen him on this show before, Darren Cooper. He's the owner of 1898 Creative. And I've been doing a lot of work with him recently, and he's kind of brought me on in this kind of fractional chief operations officer to help him kind of organize his processes. And we've seen some amazing growth and some amazing stories kind of come across our desk and through the organization because we have begun to foster a sense of collaboration. It's super important to Darren. It's super important to me. That's a shared value, right? And so we're able to foster this sense of collaboration where if I'm working on a project, I can share with him and get his feedback immediately and vice versa. And not just getting feedback, but also working on different parts of the project. We've been working on our process of some of these core video packages that we offer to our clients. And in that, we're like, okay, I think this part of the project, this person would be really good for, and this part of the project, and it's the same video, it's the same project, but in that video, we may have 4 or 5 different people touch that video in different elements, or coloring, or B-roll, or shooting, or whatever it is. We have all that stuff working out together. And so we've begun to foster and cultivate this atmosphere of collaboration. Nothing can help community thrive more than collaboration. If you look at it even just in the sense of like a farming community or a community here like a Serenbe in Atlanta area that has the sense of community, they have a collaboration in their farming, right? Everybody comes together and pitches in to help cultivate the gardens, and then everybody gets to reap the benefits of that. And so that community is a natural part, or collaboration is a natural part of community, and it's much, much needed. Friends, I know you may be listening to this, and you may be listening to this series over the next few weeks during the month of May, and you may be asking yourself, like, I just don't know where to start. And like I told you in the beginning, it's just a phone call or a text away. Start a text thread, invite people in it. There will be people that say no. There will be people that ghost you and not answer at all. That's okay. That just means it's not for them and it's not for you in that moment or in that season. That's okay. The people that need to be there will be there. And you can begin to kind of cultivate this community by making sure you invite people in with shared values, by providing a clear communication channel, and fostering any sense of collaboration you can will help this community thing that you need so badly for your creativity to thrive. It'll help it explode. I promise you. Next week, on part 2 of Creative Community, we're going to talk about how to we've kind of got the community. We've kind of know how to kind of bring it in, is what we talked about today. And next week we're going to talk about some different elements that will help it thrive in that creative community that you've begun to build. I hope that you're taking these episodes this month. There's going to be 5 episodes. There's 5 Thursdays in the month of May. I hope that you're taking these episodes one at a time and going out and doing something about it. And so today I encourage you to start texting people, to start calling people, whether you know them or not, and invite them in to be a part of a creative community for you. Keep the expectations low, but be clear about your expectations. Be clear about shared values. Be clear about communication channels and the purpose of the community. And I promise you, it may take time, but I promise you, you'll be better for it. You'll be happier for it. All the things that we talked about in the beginning, right? You'll have support and encouragement. You'll have networking, collaboration. You'll have inspiration and innovation, professional development, overall emotional well-being, and opportunities for exposure and recognition. All are benefits of creative community. So I cannot wait to be with you next week on part 2 of Creative Community. We'll talk to you next week on Creativity Made Easy.